Well, it's been, like I said, 5 months I've been associated with them. And my spiritual mentor once told me God is infinitely relational. And because of that, he wants us to set up relationships to accomplish the things he's laid on our hearts. And my first impression of the Christian chamber down here was that they epitomized that philosophy, that we are relational. I first met Crystal Parker was the first person I met at the chamber. She invited me down here, and I came down and soon met Briston and Latondra and Robbie and you and just so many people. I can't remember half the names, and everybody was helpful. Everybody had a godly spirit. Everybody was about building God's kingdom first. Like that's the top priority, whether you're a business person or a pastor or whatever your calling in life is. It was all about honoring God. And I knew uh, when I came down here and met everybody that this would be home for the rest of my life. Well, my current business is Wise Bible College, which I hope to talk about that a little bit. But before that, I ran a business called Life Changers 180, and I opened it July 5th, actually, 2015, and it was a success coaching company for young entrepreneurs based on biblical principles. As a matter of fact, I'd written a book, my ninth, called Seven Perfect Steps to Success, and that was the foundation of the success coaching company. And when I first started it, it was open to anybody. And eventually I saw that anybody was being slowly carved down to young Christian men and women that could resonate with what I was teaching. What I taught was not New Age or any of that, any law of attraction stuff. It was more, what does the Bible say? What are blessings and cursings instead of positive and negative affirmations? What does God want you to do? And one of the cornerstones of the success coaching company was, what does it really look like to partner with God in your business? And the way I approached that was using a joint venture agreement, if you will. In a joint venture agreement, there's three things in there. There's your goals, your roles and responsibilities for the different people in the agreement, and compensation. And I thought that was perfect for the way we should be dealing with God as Christian businessmen and women. So for me, my goal was to train people. And then when I decided to partner with God intimately in that, he added two more goals. And you see it in Matthew where he says, seek ye first the kingdom of God and his righteousness, two different things, and all these things will be added onto you. And what he was talking about, I think, is when it comes to the kingdom, how do we grow the kingdom? How do we impact the kingdom? Seek ye first the kingdom of God and his righteousness. How do we become more and more like Christ every day? Added those two goals to my goal of training young men and women on their entrepreneurial journey. For roles and responsibilities, it says in Proverbs 21:31, prepare the horse for battle, but depend on the Lord for victory, or victory belongs to the Lord. So my role was to do what God said. His role was to make it work. And then compensation, we read in Malachi 3, the tithe belongs to the Lord, and this is the only command he gave us with a dare. He says, I dare you to do this, and don't see if I don't bless you more than you could ever imagine. And so as a business, I give him the first 10%, and then he multiplies beyond imagination success in what I do. And now I've taken that and morphed it into Wise Bible College, where we're going to train young men and women that have a passion for doing God's work and partnering with him. And we're going to give a dual degree, one in evangelism. Every week they're going to go out and win people to Christ, and a degree in entrepreneurial studies, where to graduate, they have to have a viable business that'll allow them to walk into ministry financially secure the day after graduation. It's been amazing. You know, I've, as an evangelist, I've traveled the world helping pastors grow their churches using uh, uh, the ability to teach their congregants how to share their faith with friends and family and interactions. And but it's a lonely world out there. You know that the average person stays in the ministry 5 years before they quit. And part of it is frustration with not really knowing how to do things. One of the things Wise Bible College is going to fix. How do you do marketing and branding and all that for a church? The other thing is the loneliness, all right? A lot of pastors, I think 97% of the pastors say they do not have a close friend that they can go to and unload their burdens with. And to me, that's a sin that the church has on it, and that is one of the saddest things out there. But I say all that to say, here at the Central Florida Christian Chamber, that doesn't exist. It's like from the very first time that I walked into one of their networking luncheons, I felt at home. I felt like I was among friends, brothers and sisters, if you will. And I have one young lady who is taking care of the nonprofit paperwork for the ministry, for the college. I have another gentleman, happens to be the chairman of the board, going to be working with him on branding and public relations, and talk to Briston and Crystal about some of the members mentoring our students as they grow in those 4 years at college, mentoring them in their business and their business from a godly perspective. And it's just like you're in a family. You just have to come here to see it to believe it. But it's totally different than anything I've been involved with before. I tell people, now I come down here until my wife and I can move down here, and the college is starting August of this year, which is about, 7-8 months from now. So I come down here a week every month to work with people I've met through the chamber, to people at Briston. That guy's a connector, let me tell you. He's put me in touch with so many people. But what I tell people about coming down here, they say, what's it like? It's like I get to hang out with God and watch Him build a Bible college. And He's using people in this chamber to help me do that. I would say I've probably worked directly in the last 5 months since I've been down here, a couple of dozen men and women. Most of them Briston has put me in touch with to be able to minister and grow and share my vision and get them excited about the vision. I've even got a couple of people that will have volunteered to be professors at the school to teach some of the classes that they have an expertise in. And where do you get that? I mean, I figured I would have to raise hundreds of thousands of dollars, hire people at exorbitant fees to get them to teach classes to grow God's kingdom. And I got people coming up to me and say, hey, do you have somebody to teach this yet? It's a completely different mindset, a completely different environment. I think it's church the way it's supposed to be.